Hello friends, welcome to Gyan Gurukul economics classes. So today we are going to learn about price discrimination. Okay, so let me write it here. Price discrimination. So price discrimination is a key concept that works under the monopoly market structure, right? In our previous lessons, we have learned about monopoly. What is monopoly? What are its various characteristics? What are the types of monopoly? Also, how under monopoly the monopolist attains his profit maximizing level. Okay, so you can go back to our previous videos and see all these things right there. Now today we will see the concept of price discrimination and the role it plays under monopoly market. So if you focus on this particular word, that is discrimination, okay, it actually tells a part of the story, right? That is something that is related to a kind of discrimination, and that discrimination would be carried out by the monopolist to the buyer. Okay, let us understand it with a example. Okay, so let's suppose there is a monopolist. So let me draw a monopolist. Okay, let's say this is a person, some spiky hair, and yes, let's say this person is a monopolist. Okay, in order to become a monopolist, therefore he is selling a particular commodity that has no close substitutes in the entire economy, right? So let us suppose this particular person sells a particular mobile, or let's say in this particular economy or in this particular country, this gentleman, he sells mobile phones, and he is the only sole industry that, or he is the only sole, he owns the only sole firm that produces and sell mobile phones in that particular economy. Okay, no other firm in the industry or in the mobile industry of the particular economy, there is no other firm that produces mobile phones. Okay, he is the only sole producer and distributor of mobile phones in the entire economy. Okay, so he is a monopolist. What is his monopoly commodity? The commodity is the mobile phone. Okay, let's suppose. Now let's say there are two people, or there are two buyers in the market. Okay, let me draw them. So let's say this is one. Let us make it a girl. Okay, let us make it a girl. So she is a girl in the market. Okay, so let's name her Nita. Okay, her name is Nita, and let's say this man here is Mukesh. Okay, so Mukesh is the monopolist and Nita is a buyer, right? Nita is a buyer, and let's say there is another buyer in the market. Okay, let us say this is the buyer. So he has some curly hairs. Okay, this is another person. Let's say let us name him Kunal. Okay, so there is the monopolist Mukesh, who is selling mobile phones in the economy, and there are two buyers. Who are they? Nita and Kunal. Okay, now let's say this particular monopolist is selling one piece of, or one unit of mobile phone to Nita at rupees 8,000. Okay, right? This particular gentleman is selling a particular mobile phone. Okay, let us also suppose that this mobile phone making company, that is the monopoly firm, produces a certain specific type of mobile, and they don't have other varieties. Okay, there is the mobile that they sell in the market is completely of the same characteristics. Okay, or they have the same features, right? So that particular mobile phone, one unit of that mobile phone, he sold to Nita at rupees 8,000, and let's say similar one unit of the mobile phone he sold to Kunal at rupees 10,000, right? Now remember here, the mobile phone have the same features or all the same characteristics, so this product is not different. Okay, there is no difference in this particular product, or there is no difference in the mobile phone, or we can say the mobile phone is a homogeneous product. It is same in all its respects or all its characteristics, right? So the mobile phone is a homogeneous product with all its features being same, and that particular phone is sold to Nita at rupees 8,000, while the very same phone was sold to Kunal at rupees 10,000. Clear? So you can see there is a clear discrimination by this monopolist to the buyers. Okay, in one hand he is selling to Nita at rupees 8,000, while he is selling to Kunal at rupees 10,000, the very same phone. That means there is a 2,000, Kunal is paying 2,000 more money. Okay, Kunal is selling to 2,000 rupees higher than Nita in order to get the same phone. That means there is a clear discrimination. Okay, the discrimination is towards Kunal, right? The discrimination is towards Kunal because he is selling the same phone to Nita at a lower price than Kunal, right? So this is one form of discrimination, or you can say this is one form of price discrimination. Okay, what happens in this form? In this form, what happens is that the monopolist is selling the same quantity. Okay, he is selling the same quantity at different prices, right? So the monopolist is selling the same quantity, that is 1 unit of mobile phone, to two different persons at different prices. Okay, right? So this is one form of price discrimination, that is he is selling the same quantity but at two different prices, right? This is one form. Let us now see there is another form. What happens? What a monopolist could do, he could charge the same price from both the two individuals. Let's say he charges how much? Let's say he charges 16,000. Okay, 16,000 from Nita, okay, and 16,000 from Kunal. Okay, but for 16,000 paid by Nita, the monopolist gave him 2 units of mobile phone. Okay, or 2 mobile phones, right? The monopolist sells Nita, okay, the monopolist sells Nita 2 units of mobile phone at rupees 16,000. Clear? But though he charges 16,000 from Kunal, but he sells only say 1 unit, right? He is selling 1 unit at 16,000 to Kunal, while he is selling 2 units at 16,000 rupees to Nita, right? So here what is happening? You see, he is selling at the same price. Okay, the price remains constant, or price is same. Okay, price is same, but the quantity sold, the quantity is different, right? The quantity sold is different. In the previous case, what happened? In the previous case, the quantity was same, right? The quantity was same, but the price was different, right? The price was different. Now in this case, the price is remaining same, but the quantity is different. Okay, in this case the price is remaining same but the quantity is different. So these are the basic two types of price discrimination that the monopolist practices in the monopoly market. Now let's see both the two types of two distinct types of price discrimination with the help of diagrams, right? So here we have a diagram. There are two AR curves, meaning that we are talking about the demand for two particular persons or two buyers. Okay, let's say AR1, it represents the demand curve of whom? The demand curve of Nita, right? And similarly the AR2, it represents the demand curve of Kunal. Okay, similarly MR1 and MR2 represents the marginal revenue curve. Clear? MC is the marginal cost curve of the monopolist. Okay, right. Now here you see where is the point of profit maximizing point for the monopolist. Let's initially talk about the demand curve of Nita. Okay, so that means we have to talk about AR1 and MR1, right? So this is AR1 and this is MR1. Now the MR1 curve cuts the MC curve at this point. Okay, at this point, let's note this point as point E. So at point E, MR1 is equal to MC. Okay, and the slope of MC is higher than slope of MR. Okay, the slope of MC is higher than slope of MR1, and that means the point E is the equilibrium point for the monopolist in terms of the demand curve of neta. Okay, so accordingly he would charge a price that is up to here. Okay, this is the demand curve of neta, right, AR1. So he will charge a price at this point. So the price is, let's say this is P1. Okay, P1. So the price charged is OP1. Okay, OP1 is the price, and what is the quantity? The quantity is this one. Let's say denoted as OQ1. So the quantity is OQ1. Okay, right. So this is in case of neta. Okay, in case of neta, what the monopolist is doing, he is selling OQ1 units of output, or the OQ1 units of mobile to neta at price OP1. Right? Clear? Now let's talk about Kunal. Okay, let's see what happens to Kunal. Now what is the marginal revenue curve of Kunal? This is MR2. Okay, this is MR2. Where is MR2? The MR2 here, this one MR2. Now see, at which point MR2 is equal to marginal cost. This point is also the very same point, point E, right? At point E, MR2 is also equal to MC. Okay, so what we get, that at point E, MR2 is equal to the MC curve. Okay, and also if you see, the slope of MC curve is higher than the slope of MR2. That means this is the profit maximizing point for the monopolist in terms of the demand curve of Kunal, right? Okay, this is the point. So quantity would be OQ1, right? If we vertically draw the line here up to here at this point, the quantity is Q1. Okay, so the quantity sold to Kunal is OQ1, which is same as neta. Okay, in case of neta also, the quantity sold was OQ1. Here also the quantity sold is OQ1. But if you see the price, this time the demand curve of Kunal is touched at this point, right? At this point. So the price is here. So let's say the price is P2. That means now the monopolist is selling Kunal at a price which is higher than OP1, and the price is OP2. Okay, the monopolist is selling Kunal the same quantity OQ1 at a price which is OP2, and if we see in the diagram, OP2 is clearly higher than OP1. Okay, so the difference between both the two prices, that is P1 P2, this is, you can say, a kind of discrimination to Kunal, right? The monopolist is resorting to price discrimination, that is, he is selling the same quantity at two different prices, which should help him to get a higher level of profit. Okay, if he would sell him at the same price, right, just like neta, in that case the profit would have been less. Now the profit would be higher because he is selling at a higher price to Kunal, the very same quantity, right? So this is a classic case of what? Selling the same quantity. Okay, same quantity but different price. Okay, this is a particular type of price discrimination. Now let's say here the second type, that is the price here would be remain same. Okay, price same but the quantity is different. Okay, same price but different quantity. Now this is the second case. Okay, so here we see the same AR1 represents the demand curve of neta. Similarly, MR1 also represents to neta. Similarly, if you see AR2 and MR2 represents to Kunal. Okay, clear? Now see in the diagram. So what is the equilibrium point for the monopolist if he is going to sell according to the demand for neta? Okay, see AR1, where is AR1? This is the AR1 curve and this is the MR1 curve. Okay, so he would sell at the point where the MR1 is equal to the marginal cost curve, right? So this is that point here. So let's denote this point as E1. So at E1, what we get, that the marginal revenue 1, okay, the marginal revenue 1 is equal to MC, or a marginal cost. Okay, also at the same time, if you see, the slope of MC is higher than the slope of MR, right? So both the two conditions fulfill. Therefore this is the equilibrium point for the monopolist if he is going to sell to neta according to the demand for according to the demand for the commodity by NITA. Okay, in that case E1 would be the equilibrium point. Now at E1, how much he is selling? He is selling Q1 units, right? He is selling Q1 units at what price? The price is here, okay, P. Okay, so the monopolist is selling, let's denote this as P1. Okay, the monopolist is selling how much of quantity? Quantity OQ1. And what is the price? The price here is OP1, right? He's selling OQ1 quantity at OP1 price to, say, NITA. Okay, now let's say what happens when we talk about the demand for Kunal. So this, the AR2 is the demand curve for Kunal, and similarly MR2 is the marginal revenue curve. So where is equilibrium? The equilibrium is at this point where MR2 is equal to MC. So this is point E2. Let's say denote this point as E2. Now at E2, you can clearly see that the MR2 is equal to the marginal cost, right? MR2 is equal to marginal cost. Also, the slope of MR is less than the slope of MC, or we can say the slope of MC is higher than the slope of MR, which satisfies both the two conditions, and that means E2 is our equilibrium point. Okay, E2 is the equilibrium point for the monopolist if he is selling according to the demand of Kunal. Okay, now in that case, this is the equilibrium point. What is the equilibrium quantity? This is Q2. Okay, so quantity is Q2, right? Sorry, OQ2. This amount of quantity he is selling at what price? Let's go upwards. Okay, at this point he is this vertical line is touching the AR2 curve, so the price is OP1. Okay, the price is OP1. That means the price is same as before. Okay, so he is selling OQ2 quantity at price OP1. Clear? So we see that because of the difference in demand curves of both the two buyers, the monopolist is selling OQ1 quantity at OP1 price to NITA, while he is selling a higher quantity, that is OQ2, at the same price OP1 to Kunal. Okay, so here what we see, the price is remaining same. Okay, the price is remaining same at OP1, but if you see the quantity is different. In case of NITA, he is selling OQ1, and in case of Kunal, he is selling OQ2, right? And clearly from the diagram it is evident that OQ2 is greater than OQ1, right? OQ2 is greater than OQ1. That means that the monopolist is charging the same price, although he is selling two different commodities to both the two buyers, right? So this is an example of where the price remains same, but two different quantities are sold to the buyers. Okay, it is not that there would be only two buyers in the market. Okay, it is in this diagram we are taking only two buyers because of our simplicity, to show you simply, right? In the real scenario, what happens in the real world, there may be a numerous amount of buyers. Okay, various numbers of buyers, and the monopoly charges them, you know, different prices for different commodities, or at the same price he sells different quantities, and accordingly further, you know, the price discrimination is said to be of three types. Okay, three types. We will you know, learn about them in our in the next class. Okay, we won't going to talk about today, right? So here these are the two ways. Okay, these are the two ways of price discrimination, but according to the degree of price discrimination, we divide them into three parts. Okay, that would be we are taking in the next class, right? So thank you for today, and request to you, if you guys like our video, then please hit the like button. Also, if there is any question or queries, then feel free to comment us in the comment section. Further, also please, a kind request to you, that share our videos so that more and more people could see us or see our videos, and also please subscribe the channel to get the latest notification. Thank you.